spirits, to another episode of our amazing podcast, Flying Upstream. Today, we're coming at you live, once again, bringing the energy, and we're going to do something different today. Are you ready? Okay, good, because we're diving in. So, we want to focus on being stuck. I think this is something we all go through. You get stuck in your life, in your business, in your day-to-day job, and let's be real, it's not fun. So, we're going to focus on how to get unstuck, how to feel more inspired, and how to move forward. Keep the energy flowing in your own business. And one of the key components that we're diving into today is all about meditation. And Luisa happens to be an expert meditator. She meditates every day. And so we've convinced her to come on and help share some of her best, most valuable tips with us today on how to get unstuck. So, Luisa, thanks for sharing all your good tips with us today. Um, can you share with us first a little bit? What is meditation? I've heard this word a million times. What exactly is it? And do I need to be wearing Lululemon leggings to do it? Important questions.
I love the question. That's my favorite question because, first of all, we don't need Lululemon leggings. We actually don't need anything at all. The most important thing we need for meditation is ourselves and our awareness. So, meditation, what it is, it's basically let's start with what it does and then I can dig into what it is. So what it does is it allows you to bring yourself to center, right? It allows you to focus on your inwards. Go inwards. Think about um whatever comes up, really, and be able to really practice centering yourself, listening to yourself, bringing your awareness into your body. We're usually up here in our brains. So meditation is really training your mind to focus and to redirect the thoughts. All the thoughts that, as I'm sure we all experience, just pop up every day, every second of the day, just popping up. And so, meditation is that it is the most beautiful art of being
Mhm.
able to learn to redirect those thoughts and to essentially listen to what your inner self is trying to tell you.
Interesting. Okay, so when you say it brings us into our body, can you explain that? And for people who don't do meditation every day, what does that mean exactly? And how is that useful for us?
So, bringing us into our body is more about being present, right? The way that we experience life as human beings is very much like up here. It's very much our logical thought process. From the moment most of us go to elementary school, right? It's like, let's think about how you make that decision. Here's the thought process on how you make a decision. Here is the process on how to, how to apply, how to get your food, for example. Just really simple everyday things. Um, and what meditation does is it takes us out of that logical thinking brain where everything is a process and where everything needs steps and where everything requires some sort of project plan. And it brings us into, it
Yep.
brings us into the awareness of who we are. So what starts to happen when you meditate is you'll start to notice different sensations in your body as we walk through any meditations. That's one of the main things that you'll hear in guided meditations is focus within. We usually start with focusing on your breath because it's the first step to get us to notice our body, like notice what's going on within you. And so what we really want to do is leave out all of the external factors that are outside of ourselves.
Interesting. Okay, so it's kind of like when I'm really stressed because I'm figuring out what am I feeding my family for dinner and I have to email this person back and just a million thoughts thinking all the time, right? So you're saying kind of calm that part down, listen to my inner self, my body, right? And I
Yeah.
think that could be, so you're talking about that could be like wisdom, like what do I do with my life, right? Or it could just be kind of having that moment of peace and quiet to reflect on other things, right?
Yeah, and when we think about that from like, if you're struggling with your business or struggling about what you want to do in your business or how you want to do it, all of these thoughts are swirling in our heads all day, right? Like, what software do I use? What kind of emails do I send? Do I need an email, sequence for that? Or do I send personal emails to my clients? What it does, it centers you. It brings all of those thoughts to kind of a sort of, I don't want to say a halt because that can be untrue, but it allows you to at least start thinking in a calmer state. Scientifically, when you meditate, your brain waves shift to a calmer state. And so that's exactly what we're able to do. So if you're struggling in any way from a business perspective, right? Just like every other day life things, yeah, that's exactly what it does. It increases your clarity for better decision making and improved problem solving skills.
Hmm. Okay, so this sounds great, but I'm a super busy person and I don't really have time to just sit down for an hour and meditate. I've got things to get done, places to go, people to see. So how are you supposed to do this when you're a busy person? You've got going on in your life, you know?
Well, first of all, we don't need an hour. I think that's a big myth. I'm glad you're bringing that up because there's this idea that we need to sit down with the Lululemon, leggings and
Mhm.
the fancy yoga mats. Also, is another thing, and all the fancy, meditation tools that are available and are wonderful. If they're available to you and you have them right then and there, I do not discourage those, but it is a myth that you need a really long amount of time. I meditate every day, and sometimes my meditations are 10 minutes because I am a
Mhm.
busy person. I
Okay.
have emails to send, I have kids to drive places, I have meals to cook, I have all of the things to do as well, but 10 minutes will suffice. 10 minutes is actually a great place to start. And I always recommend that we do this at the beginning of the day because life happens and we all know that it does. There's
Mhm.
nothing you can do. Once that one kid walks in the door, or once that you pick up your cell phone and check for those emails or those text messages, life just goes. So, the best
So
way
true.
to do it, yes, the best way and the most life changing way that's going to be the most impactful based on my own firsthand experience is when you sit up in your bed, the first thing you do is you close your eyes and you meditate. If you need a
Mhm.
timer because you might be late to work or because you have to do the breakfast and all the things, have a timer that is not your cell phone by your nightstand, not your
Mhm.
cell phone, because that will lead you right down a trap.
That is a great tip. That's a really good tip. I'm also wondering where you can do this. Like, I know when I was working in an office, there's always empty conference rooms available. Like, could you do it in that kind of space if you needed it on an airplane, a train? Like, what are your options? Does it have to be in the privacy of your own home? Like, just in the vein of like making it work, right? Because business people, we're all over the place all the time. So how do you make sure you're finding that 10 minutes?
This is a great one because I have meditated on airplanes. I have meditated in the middle of like a party. Have some headphones, these these fancy little things that everybody puts in their ear. I used to hate them. I used to hate the idea of everybody walking around with these things in their ears and not being present and paying attention to what's actually going on in life, especially at work, especially in an office setting or when you're working with other people trying to build something. Used to drive me nuts until I started meditating and realized Well, as a busy mom, as a busy professional, someone who runs their own business, I need to actually make the best use of these things. And these things have been amazing because that conference room, I feel like that's a treat. If you're trying to meditate, you could actually just sit at your desk, pop these things in, and whether you play meditation music or not, completely up to you. But if these are, what is it called? Like sound buff, whatever, where they block the sound, then you don't need to play music and you can sit there, set your 10-minute timer, cross your legs on your desk chair if that's what you wish to do, and meditate. So you don't need to be, the waterfalls don't need to be there. The perfect scenery does not need to be there. The Lululemon yogings don't need to be there. The yoga mat does not need to be there. All you need is you and your intention. And, these things are helpful because if we're in noisy places where there are other people or children running around or, whatever else is going on in life, because it happens,
Hmm.
you can still meditate. The beauty of it is that it doesn't have to be anywhere specific. You are literally able to meditate wherever you are.
Okay, this sounds great in theory. I'm wondering if we could do something a little crazy here. Could we try a meditation live while we're on right now?
I love this. Yes. I'm always up for meditation any time of the day. So let's
Okay,
try meditation. Let's try it. How about I walk you through it
great.
and we do this. And yes, perfect. I'm excited.
Okay, I'm gonna go sit on my couch where I'm nice and comfortable, and I'm gonna sit with my legs crossed because that's comfortable for me. But okay, tell me what to do. I'm here.
Awesome. So, what to do? The first thing that I like to do when we sit down. So, once you have found a space that's comfortable and that there's enough quiet for you to be able to focus on yourself, we're going to start focusing on sitting. For you, you're sitting. I also want to mention that some people like to lay down, and that's fine too.
Mhm.
So, now you want to sit there, allow your body to relax, and just do that. Just sit there, focus on nothing else. Just allow your body to relax.
Okay.
Close
What
your
do you
eyes. Oh.
What do you say for people who are like, my mind is still racing, right? Like, I'm still like, oh, I gotta do 16 things today. I forgot to write down two of them already. And, how do you get your mind to kind of calm down a little bit so they're able to get into it?
So, one thing is that's really important. I'm glad you brought that up. And I'll backtrack a little before I answer that. You always want to make sure that you close your eyes and don't judge yourself if you're not able to keep them closed. Because when you first start meditating, that doesn't always come easy to a lot of us, but that is the intention. Now, the thoughts that keep coming up, and they will, this is part of the beauty, is you get to start noticing what those thoughts are. Just notice them. What's coming through? I have to make 30 cupcakes for, my kid to bring to school tomorrow. And they just told me 25 minutes ago, you know, um, I have to send 35 emails to my clients. And do I have to handwrite each and every single one of those individually? Every time a thought comes up, you're going to notice it and you're going to, with no judgment, you're going to inject no positive or negative energy into that. You're just going to notice it and let it go. Just let it come through with every thought
Okay,
that comes up. You're not stopping them.
got it. Okay, I'm ready. Let's give it a try. I'm ready for this.
All right. Now take 3 deep breaths. You're going to breathe in and out your mouth. Now you're going to notice any part of your body that you're getting any sensation from. And that's all you're going to do. You're going to just notice that. In the meanwhile, you want to continue to breathe in your nose and out your mouth in whatever way feels comfortable. You want to scan as you're feeling your body. A good place to start is scanning your body from your head to your topping at each place where there's any sensation, and notice what type of sensation that is. Is it like an aching? Is it a sort of stabbing feeling? Is it strong? Is it very subtle? And if you're still having those thoughts, another technique to try is to focus on your breathing. Every time you're having a thought, if you can't shake it off or let it go without judgment, just bring your attention back to your breath. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. And this is how you always want to end a meditation. Is whenever you feel ready, you open your eyes, you wiggle your body. I always wiggle my fingers and my toes very gently. And you're going to do this in a time frame that feels comfortable for you, as long as it takes for you to feel comfortable with it. And then you can do a stretch if you'd like to once you're finishing it up. And there's no right or wrong here. It's whatever stretch feels right for you. And then whenever you're ready, you can get up and do life again.
That was amazing. I feel
How did you?
amazing.
Yeah.
That
How did
was
that
really
feel?
incredible,
Share your
actually.
experience.
Okay. So in the beginning, you said just notice what sensations you're feeling. I could feel my shoulders were a little tense. And the second I thought about, oh, they're tense, they just immediately relaxed and kind of dropped. And I thought, well, that was unexpected. But that was really, really nice. Like I really appreciated just trying to check in with my body and see what am I feeling. It's not something I do every day unless it's a severe pain that I can't ignore. And I feel like I understand now how you could speed up by slowing down, right? I feel like I've heard that expression and it doesn't always make sense to me. Why would you speed up to slow down? But I get it now, right? So I can actually feel, in the vein of feeling inspired and problem solving I feel like by quieting all that other noise, all the I have to send 16 emails in my list and pick up the kids, just kind of like putting that off to the side for a couple of minutes, like 10 minutes, not really a long time in the span of your day. just put that to the side for a little bit and giving myself some attention, I feel like, yeah, like new thoughts were kind of popping up in my mind a little bit. Like, oh, what if you don't email this person? What if I created a personalized video and sent it to them instead? Would that person react better to it, right? For my business. And just new thoughts kind of came up a little bit for me, which was really cool. And that was only a couple minutes, right? How long was that?
Yeah. That was 5 minutes, so
5 minutes. Yeah.
yeah,
Easy. And I already feel like I had some awesome ideas. Amazing.
yeah.
So, yeah, definitely for our listeners, give this a try. 5 minutes, not too much to ask at all. Um, I mean, I feel like you could even just, go to a restroom if you had to and just have some quiet
I've done
time
that.
and try it out. Yeah, that is
Yeah,
so
and
great.
I'm so glad, and I'm so glad we shared this with the audience because what happens is we have this idea of, a lot of the misconceptions about meditation and the impact that it can have on our lives. And like you mentioned, the slowing down, right? It's like the slowing down to go faster. It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense, except you immediately saw the change. You just explained the immediate change that can happen. And that's only 5 minutes one day. Imagine doing that more consistently for 10 or 15 minutes. It really does start to help you. I think one of the biggest things is let go of what is no longer serving you. You start to realize when you're within
Mm,
yourself,
mhm,
you start to really realize like how much attention you're mentally giving to something that as you're sitting there in calmness, you kind of start to realize that is that actually something I need to even be worried about? When you start, how
mhm.
you mentioned your shoulders, right? That's your root chakra. And it's like that sense of security. It's that baseline of our energetic body system. And it makes me think, how much are we impacting our own health and our lives, obviously, by holding on to all of these things that no longer serve us. And meditation is a great tool to help us be able to start identifying what no longer serves us by us being able to identify, be in our bodies, and identify what is this causing? What are these thoughts causing? Because we don't stop to think that. And, what is thinking about sending 500 emails? What is that making me feel? How is that impacting my body? And so then it
Mhm.
brings you, allows you the thoughts of maybe how can I do that more efficiently in my business? Can I have somebody else do that in my business? And all of those beautiful things that come along um, with everyday life and just developing and growing, not just from a business perspective, but from a human perspective, personal growth perspective.
Yes, that's amazing. I love the concept you're mentioning about letting go of situations that no longer serve you. That's so profound to me. I feel like we all have something that we still do that is now not serving us and could even be harmful to us. And that could impact not just our lives, but our business, right? And that could be something as simple as responding to every email individually versus just having a mass email that goes out to everybody. It could be the way that you interact with your coworkers, the way that you're talking to your customers, the way that you're planning your own career. Just letting go of some of that, realizing that you are where you are today. You have already come a long way on your own journey, no matter where you are, and reframing it in a way that does serve you. That's so beautiful.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. And I absolutely love that. I'm glad we shared this with the audience. Definitely remember to follow us, like us, subscribe for more content related to this. We are in the world of the unconventional. So anything that seems like it may not go together, we'll find the glow.
Absolutely. I couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you, free spirits. We'll see you next time.